Okay, we're live. We're live. Sorry, guys. Few
We're like,
technical difficulties.
hey,
Hey, guys, welcome.
uh,
Hey, Sarah,
woo!
you're kind of in and out.
Am I?
It might be on my end. Like I said, my Wi-Fi is definitely screwy,
Okay,
and
yeah, no, you're totally fine. I'm gonna see if I can walk out so I can so you can hear me a little bit better. But it's
okay.
a bit dark. Um,
So, hey, if you guys are just joining us, I'm Brittany Bailey from Pretty Handy Girl, and this is my cohort, Sara Bendrick,
hello, hello.
and she and I are both female contractors, and we do the DIY Courage Chat every month at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we
Yep.
are so glad to have you. And so, Sara, do you want to tell us what you've been working on? I know you've been super, super busy in what's coming up in your life.
And so have you, man. I guess we do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been really good. I've been super busy. Today was the first day of my pilot, which I'm super excited about.
Woohoo!
Oh,
I
it's
can't
like
wait.
been like a year in the making, it feels like. It
So
really almost
you're
has.
filming it, or is it live? It's not live yet. You're
It's
filming
not
it?
it's not live. Today was the first day we broke ground, and it probably won't air till next spring, but today was the first round. So demo day, and we already filled 2 dumps and we need 2 more, and I budgeted for 3, and I'm like, oh no,
Oh my gosh.
you know,
Wow.
what are you gonna do? Um
Wow. That's so cool. So what is it, an old house? Like, are you working on the outside or what? I mean, I assume you are. You're
so
always,
we're backyard, and the backyard's in Huntington Beach. Usually we'd like to film in San Diego, but we'll see if we get picked up, then we'll just move everything down there. But yeah, no, super excited. The family's awesome. They have 2 kids, and we're putting in well, I'm not sure how much I can actually talk about it. So
oh, okay.
we're making it beautiful. We're making it beautiful, and it's for a great family, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's myself, and I have 2 main guys as well as a whole crew that are help kind of making it come together.
That's awesome. Oh, I cannot wait to see it.
Oh man,
I'm so excited.
we had a skid steer out here today, and jackhammers, sledgehammers. It was a full day, and man, I got a full day tomorrow. I've been waking up like at 5 a.m., and I'm gonna drive back up here, and
Oh, wow.
make it all.
How far of a drive is it?
It's an hour and a half each way.
Oh, wow. That's a long drive.
Yeah, yeah, I know. After a 10-hour day of demo.
Oh my gosh. Wow. And how long do you think for the project to be done?
Probably about 4 weeks.
Wow. All
Yeah,
right, hang in there.
it's gonna be a hustle. I'll tell you that. But hey, I'm so excited just to break ground though. And then on top of that, I've been writing this landscape book forever.
Yes.
It went to design, and so they're doing all their stuff, and they're giving it back to me on the 9th, which is coming up, and I got to finish all the final edits by the 23rd. Like no push on the date, no push
Oh
on
my
the date.
gosh. The
And I'm
9th
like,
of
God, man,
November? The
huh?
9th of November or December?
The 9th of November
Oh, jeez. You
is
are
due
busy.
November 23rd, like completely.
Oh my gosh.
So you can come. Um, Oh, I have one of my guys here, and he has a question.
Oh, yeah.
I will take it. Maybe like 10 seconds. Okay. So tomorrow, you want me to call Memo, have him pay, and then give you their receipt? I think I might pick it up myself. All right. Okay. Okay. And just come straight here. Yeah, just come straight here. I'll pick up the
Day in
plywood.
the life of Sara Bendrick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just see you here in the morning, 7 o'clock. Yeah. Thank you. The guys are just wrapping up, and we're trying to figure out who's picking up plywood, and
Oh, yeah, important stuff.
oh yeah, you would.
So I think I told you, but I haven't told everybody. This
I want
week
to know. I want to know. How are you doing?
we got a puppy, or he's 11 months old, but for us it's a puppy because we have never
That's a
done.
puppy.
He's a puppy. He has
It's a
puppy
puppy.
energy. Yeah, he's really sweet. But yeah, so I've just had my work cut out for me, like shooing him outside all the time, trying to get him used to a crate, and trying to get him to heel, just
Oh.
all the obedient stuff. But he's really cute. He's like 40 pounds. He's like a shepherd mix. He's a rescue, and he is in love with my kids and my husband. It's really cool because we've never, well, that's not true, but the past 2 dogs we've had, they've always been like my dog. They were Velcro on me and didn't really care about the boys. And this dog is just like when the boys
Oh,
walk in the door, he's so excited.
oh, that's how it should be.
I
Oh,
know, I know. So they're
mm,
enjoying it, and we're all happy about it. But it's amazing how much it's like having a toddler, because I'm constantly like trying to pick up things off the floor that he's going to chew or try to eat, and then like rushing him out the door to go to the bathroom all the time, and I feel like I'm toilet training.
oh,
all over
man.
again.
Oh, you know what? That's lovely though. That's so cool. I'm glad to hear it's been working out.
Yeah, it's fun. So, and not much. I don't think much work going on. I built a wood shed last week, so that was kind of fun. That was more
Oh yeah,
outside. Yeah.
for your place or for
For my place, we have a fire pit that we just kind of threw the wood off on the side and hoped that it didn't rain before we had a fire pit. So now we can kind of store it and keep it
yeah,
nice and dry. Yeah.
that's cool. That's really cool. Um,
So
that's
I'm. Go
so
ahead.
wait. I want to hear about the background behind you because that's really cute and holiday-ish.
Oh, this is I'm sitting in our dining room today, and this is it's a hutch that I got from Craigslist years ago.
Oh
And
really?
the top like right here was it was for Micah, and I'm trying to think. I'm like, did I take it off? No, I didn't take it off. It's underneath, but I painted it black, and this is just leftover flooring that I put on top. So it's like it's
That's super.
old. Yeah.
That looks really cool. I love it, and I love all the Halloween / Thanksgiving
Oh
decorations.
yeah. Yeah, the sheet music I put in there a couple years ago for the holidays, and I liked it. I was like, I'm just gonna leave it there. I just taped it to the back. It's old choir sheet music or something. I got it from the estate sale. So yeah,
It's super cool. Super cool.
yeah, I like it. It holds all our dishes and things like that. There's a bunch of drawers below. So, well,
Yeah,
hey, I am super excited. I don't know if you are, but
I am.
so I found this woman, Leah is her name, and I found her on YouTube one day, and I just got completely sucked into her videos. Her YouTube channel is called C Jane Drill, and
Yeah.
this woman is amazing. She does home repairs, home improvements. She also does auto repairs, and I watched this whole
I didn't
video
know that.
on. Yeah, I watched her show how to replace the disc brakes. I think it was or
Really?
it was brake pads, I believe, on a car. And I
Okay.
thought, oh man, and she just has the most empowering message. And that's one thing, like I haven't taken automotive repair and I really want to. And she just
Huh?
made you feel like this is no big deal. You can do it. It's so easy. And I love her message and I love her energy. And so I asked if she would join us, and she's going to be joining us right
Oh,
now. I think, Leah, is that you coming in? Let's see.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's coming in. I always feel like this is like beam me up, Scotty, and then they kind of like come in, slowly.
yeah.
Do
No,
you have me
totally.
here?
We can hear you. We can't
I
see you yet.
I think she has to
Okay.
push the
She has to push what, Sarah?
like. There's a video button that you have to like turn your camera on so it allows you to see, or else it'll just show us her picture. I think.
Just shows her picture. We have to see
Cause I
her
see your
smiling
photo.
face. Yeah, I see her photo.
How about now? Yeah, there we go.
Yay!
Yay!
Hi,
Hey,
Leah.
Sarah. Hi, Brittany. It's nice to see both of you.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
nice to
No, we're
see
excited to see
you.
you.
And Leah, you're in California too, is that correct?
No. I'm in Seattle, Washington.
Oh, Seattle,
Yeah,
Washington.
but West
West.
Coast.
West
West-
Coast,
Yeah.
just like Sarah.
Yeah, oh man, I gotta tell you, I love the West Coast. That's so cool. I'm so excited to meet you. I saw some of your videos. I know Brittany found you, and gosh, we'd love to know like how you got started and your background and all that fun stuff. I don't know, Brittany, if you want to jump in with the first questions.
Yeah, so I know on your video, and this may just be something that I just am not aware of, but it says that you were a journeyman in your trade, and I don't know what that means. Like, what does that mean?
Well, what that means is that I'm a master in my craft.
Oh.
Everyone starts off, in the trades as an apprentice, and then they work their way up to journeyman. So that's
Oh,
all that means. It just means that I'm a master in my craft.
oh, you're like the master gardener, but in the automotive or repair?
No. I've always enjoyed automotives. It's been like a hobby of mine, but I'm a journeyman plasterer. That's my
Really?
craft. Yeah.
Huh. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. But that, I mean, that you are not that. Like you, when you say that, I'm like, no, no, no. People, you need to understand, she does everything. Can you wait? I want to know. Can you cook? And can you cook or bake?
I can actually. I can
Oh,
cook
dude,
and
she
make
did all.
bread.
Yeah, that's super rad. That's super rad.
Well,
That's
here's
awesome.
the thing. Here's the thing. In the trades, when you work in the trades and you're working on construction sites, there's the luxury of working with other tradespeople. And so we all sit around and we talk about what we're doing, and they share their knowledge with me. I share my knowledge with them. And that's really how, I was able to pick up so much over the years.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. And
that's super.
did they ever treat you like a woman? Like, I mean, or were most of the people you worked with just totally
Now,
want to treat you just like a bud, like, someone else who's hanging
I
around?
would be lying to you if I said that it wasn't hard initially, because it was.
Mm.
Very hard. I'd walk into the shop, you could hear a pin drop, and did not want me there. But as
Oh,
the years passed, and it took some years, I gained the respect. I wound up being the chief union steward for my union, and then they voted me in as their vice president to represent them at contract time. So,
wow.
so it
Really?
took a while. Yeah, it took a while, but after a few years, I gained the respect of my peers.
Okay, so I want to
That's
know
so.
though, like, what? I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm like, I got to know this.
No, please, please. Oh,
So, okay, but so now, you're respected in your field because, you gain respect. But what about like if you just walk into a home improvement store or an auto store now, do people treat you with respect? Or do
I
they, like, I kind of call if you're talking to me like a person or a woman, there's a real difference. And I still occasionally get the being talked to like a woman. Or is your husband doing this? Stuff like that.
No, I have never had that problem. Generally when I go to auto, it's in the process of working on a car, so I'm usually covered in oil. And I think so there's not that question of who's doing the work. So I've never had an issue. The same thing
I'm
is,
doing it all wrong. I need to walk in with paint and grease on my face.
and the same thing is true with building supply stores and all like that. I've never had an issue.
Yeah,
Now,
I think I need to walk in like completely paint spattered or whatever, and then
oh,
have
it
gloves.
completely makes a difference. Like I feel like I can be a chameleon with the like you can be a chameleon with your look, whether you're dressing the
Ah,
part. I mean, it sounds silly to say, or like dressing like a normal, regular woman that's not.
necessarily laying underneath the car.
Yeah, yeah. Like I mean, like am I coming in my Sunday best or am I coming in my work clothes? And that
Right.
determines how people kind of make assumptions.
That's
hey,
true.
Sarah and Brittany, don't you find though, when you're going to building supply stores or home improvement stores, that if you're speaking with authority, you're generally not questioned?
Yes,
That's true. Yeah. And
that is.
occasionally if I do get asked, or treated like I'm a woman, as soon as I start talking and, start throwing around terminology or act like I know what I'm talking about, then they kind of come around and start talking to me like a person. So that's true.
Yeah, no, that very much makes a difference. I'm very much an observer, so I like to kind of just like let people do their thing, and I'll just kind of take the information I need. And sometimes I share like, yes, like I'm from the trades, and sometimes I don't. It's just I don't know. It depends on my mood.
When you want them, when you want them to do stuff for you, like when I want them to load the lumber for me, I get all dressed up. I look like I don't know what I'm talking about. Especially when you're buying like 80-pound bags of concrete. Yeah, get all dressed up and then let them load it for you.
Yeah. How do you deal with like really heavy materials and stuff like that? Do you move that yourself a lot? I mean, is it teamwork? Is it?
Generally, I move it myself.
Yeah.
And I always have. That's one thing that I will say. I think that's probably why I gained the respect that I did on construction sites, was because I never had anyone carry my tools or my material for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know how you went from being in the trades to getting to YouTube.
Well, I transitioned from actually the trades to being an instructor and working closely with the unions in a
Okay.
in a apprenticeship program. I was teaching women how to apply to, they're called JATCs, Joint Apprenticeship Training Committees, and helping them make the jump from just being interested to actually, being accepted by a union and doing their apprenticeship. So I went from journeyman to an instructor. And then after that, I think I realized that there was a real need for just DIYers to learn these skills. So it was just an easy transition for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool. And then Brittany, this is your question. I'm going to steal it.
Let's go for it.
How did you come up with Jane Drill? Who's Jane? And is that just like
See, I'm going to give away my age here, okay? It's an age thing. There was a series of books called Fun with Dick and Jane.
Oh, yes.
You remember that, huh?
I was in the tail end of it, like, where they still had the books in the school library, but they weren't using them anymore in the classroom. Sarah's much younger.
So that's where we came up with the name. So there is no Jane. There is no Jane, but there's the books, Fun with Dick and Jane.
I like it.
And it was always see Jane run, see Jane walk, see Jane do this, see Jane do that. And that's kind of how we came up with the idea.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. That's pretty cool. I like that.
I do too. So, I think it's cute.
How old were you when you started as an apprentice?
I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
Oh.
Very cool. Do you think there's been advantages to being a female in the trades? Like, has that been, do you think was it harder, or in certain ways was it easier?
It was never easy. I will be honest, it was never easy, but I will say that there is a level of acceptance that is more present today than there was when I was coming up. So you have a lot of labor unions. They really want to be inclusive. They want to bring women into the trades, the plumbers, the electricians, the carpenters. They really want to bring women in. But once you get there, you have to really toe the line. You really have to produce.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a change just in the past couple of years. I mean, not necessarily in the trades, but just when I walk into the home improvement store, where 5 years ago, when I walked in, it was automatically assumed that I was there shopping for my husband, or I didn't know what I was doing. And it just seems like I've seen a real change in how, and maybe it's, I mean, I feel because there's a lot more women, and I think we're a lot more visible because of social media and because of the internet, that, people are seeing that there are women who are doing these things. And so you can't automatically assume just because she's a woman that she doesn't know how to do anything.
I agree 100% with you, Brittany. Absolutely.
I think, yeah, I'm thrilled about it. Honestly, I think it's great because, I mean, it has always been my dream, like, for a woman to walk into like the automotive store or a home improvement store, or, even like a building supply, and it not be assumed that she doesn't know what she's doing, that it just automatically, the blinders are, not blinders, but like your glasses are off and you see this is a person. This is not a gender, it's a person. And you need to treat him or her the same exact way.
Yeah, I think there's a larger acceptance for sure. Lately.
We lost your video, Sarah. You'll probably come back in a minute. Yeah. So I want to know, Leah, what your childhood was like. Were your parents really good about empowering you, or like, how? Because you definitely have this inner strength and this belief in yourself. It seems, definitely good self-esteem. I want to know, were your parents involved in that, or how? How did Leah become Leah?
My father was very supportive. My mother, not so much.
Huh.
Not so much. She couldn't really get her brain around what it was that I wanted to do. But my father really worked with me. He's the one that encouraged me to know something about cars and really worked with me with, because that was his wheelhouse, automotive. So I picked up working, on cars from him. But I just was always interested in working with my hands. So I was the first girl in my junior high school to take shop.
That's awesome. I love it.
I think that's how it's got to be. You've got to really want to know and really have an interest in it. I don't know so much if it was my parents pushing me as much as it was, but I just really liked that work. I just really was into it.
That's awesome. Now, do you have brothers and sisters, or?
I do have a sister and 2 brothers. My youngest brother, Dave, he's very handy. He's very, very good. But the other siblings, not so much. How about the 2 of you? How did you get involved in the work that you're doing?
So I'm actually the oldest of 3 girls, and my parents were really frugal. They had this little teeny ranch house, and they thought they were done after 2 kids, and then suddenly number 3 came along. They knew they were out of space, so my parents decided to cut off the roof of the house and add a 2nd floor. But they did it while we were living there, so they did all the work themselves. We were living in the house, and so my dad was always, encouraging us to come in and help him do something, or, he wanted to show us this or that. And so I kind of grew up feeling like that's just what people did. And then I also grew up with that sense that he believed that I could do those things. And like you, I really like working with my hands. My mom's an artist, so I really love working with my hands from a creative end, and then also from a building and construction and, repair end too.
I think you've told that story a long time ago, but it's been a while. I enjoyed hearing that again. Yeah. I got into the trades. I studied landscape architecture, and then that brought me onto a design build kind of company. And from that, I really just enjoyed it. I mean, I had done some hands-on work before. I had always been creative. More in high school, I'd always been I always liked to paint and make stuff, sew stuff, build stuff. But it really wasn't until I took the job in television that really was like, you know what, just go all in, step out from designing it. And I had done craftier stuff before, and then I'm like, you know what, I can do this construction too, and I can be involved in that, and it's been really fun and empowering.
That's so awesome, Sara. You just rock. You rock, girl. I wish you lived closer.
I wish you did too. Brittany and I have never met, Leah.
Oh, wow. Brittany, where are you? Where do you reside?
I live in one of the swing states, baby. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right. That's a swing state. All right. I've been to North Carolina. I've been there a few times.
Where?
I've just driven through on my way to Disney World.
You drove? Yeah. Wow. It's a long drive even from here to Disney World, because we did it last year.
I did the Ohio. I lived in the Midwest originally. Oh,
okay. All right. I'm like, wow, Seattle. There's a Disneyland closer to you.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Leah, I want to know, because I'm trying to find the chink in her armor. Leah, what are you not good at? Is there anything that you can't do, you're afraid to do, you don't like to do, any of the above?
To be honest with you, I wish that I had gotten my welding cert. And that's the one thing that I always told my students, when you go into your apprenticeship training, spend time at the local, make certain that you get your welding certificate, because it'll just make you, a lot of these halls, these union halls, they're hiring halls, and so they'll dispatch you. You have your welding certificate, it just makes you more in demand. So I wish that I had gotten my welding cert.
Yeah.
But you can still do that, right? I mean, I would assume that there's classes or somewhere you can do that, right?
Absolutely, and I've been looking into it, because I really want to master that before I instruct anybody else how to do it. That's one thing I really believe in. I believe in master it yourself and then instruct others.
That's good advice.
That's really cool. You would probably love meeting Kayleen McCabe. Do you remember her, Brittany? We had her on.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love Kayleen. Absolutely.
Yeah, she also worked in television, but she's a huge advocate for education in the trades, and she goes out and she speaks to students, and she speaks to other young people and tries to encourage them to take a career in the trades. And you guys would probably really enjoy connecting.
Well, also I was thinking about Carly too. Remember Carly Eisenberg? She did all the welding too.
Yeah, I saw that she's doing something with Jeff Devlin, who is another guest of ours.
Yeah, it's very incestuous with all of our guests.
I know. I feel like we should start a mail or something.
Carly was on the Ellen's design challenge, and she didn't win, but she came pretty close. And she made some really beautiful, unique furniture.
And welding was her background, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, I hope so. I'm sorry, Carly, if you're watching.
And then Jeff helped her with carpentry, so they were a good team.
We've definitely had some interesting people, that's for sure. I mean, it's always been. Yeah. So, Leah, one thing I like to ask, and it kind of goes back to your childhood, so is there anything that you did as a child that, kind of foreshadowed what you do today? Is there any kind of little story or anything you can tell us, or something your parents told you used to do?
But I'm not certain I understand the question.
So, trying to think, we've had some interesting answers to this. Like we had, Ty Pennington told us that his mom, she told this story about how he was just really annoying her, and she's like, just go outside and entertain yourself. And he went outside and he just built like a tree house out of just scraps that were laying around. I think he was like maybe 10 or something. And she came out, she was like, oh my gosh.
I don't know if I have one of those stories. The only thing that comes to mind is, you asked me, about support in the family. I said my father was very supportive where my mother wasn't. And I remember one Christmas, she asked me, what is it that you want? What do you want this Christmas? And I said, tools. I would like some tools. Now, I was a teenager at that time. I was maybe 15, 16. And I came down Christmas morning. I was excited because, you get a new tool. That was a big deal for me. And I remember just tearing into the gifts, and she had purchased one of those domed hair dryers that over your, that you go to the beauty parlor and it comes over your head? And I didn't even know what to say. I was just shocked. I couldn't believe it. And I think she saw how hurt I was. She sent my older brother Paul to like the corner drugstore to purchase whatever tools he could find there. And then she wrapped them up and she said, wait a second, you forgot this one gift under the tree. But I could tell that, they were. So that's what comes to mind. That's what comes to mind.
You know what we say in the South? Oh, bless her heart.
That really is precious. That really
is too funny. I do remember having a similar conversation with my not quite yet in-laws, but my husband and I dated for 7 years, and they started to recognize I was around for Christmas. So my father-in-law asked what I wanted for Christmas, and I'm like, I really want a drill. He's like, what? But man, he got me a great drill. It was the best, his best present.
You know what? My mother-in-law, she's pretty handy too, and that's what I purchased for her last year. Really nice drill set.
Really?
Yeah, but you know what? She was a little apprehensive about using it, and I kept saying, "Mom, it's okay. You can do this." Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's wonderful. Tools are a great gift, and like anybody can appreciate them. I think.
My husband learned a long time ago, like he doesn't even buy me jewelry anymore. He's like, what tool do you want for Mother's Day? What tool do you want? And now it's like, I don't really need any tools. So I don't really know what to ask for.
Got that one tool that you got your heart set on that you'd love?
Well, that's true. I do need a new table saw, and I'm really looking at one of the shop, I can't think straight, the Saw Stop or the Bosch Riox, the ones that have that flesh detection.
I love it. I've been looking myself at that particular saw. It's amazing. They're kind of pricey. They're like $35.
Very pricey, yeah. But I also feel like, I've got 2 kids they're 10 and 12, they're boys, and I really let them kind of come into the shop and do things. They haven't used the power saws yet, but I feel like, it's going to be a year or 2, they're going to be doing that. And it would be nice to have that kind of peace of mind, even with them in the shop and me, everyone gets complacent. So
yeah, it's worth it. I think it's worth it. I mean,
how much is your finger worth? Is it worth $3,000? Maybe. Depends on which finger, right?
You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was at Woodcraft, and the guy that worked there said that he was doing I don't know, he was preparing for a class for something. I mean, the guy works there, older gentleman, obviously had been doing woodworking for a lot of his life. And he said he turned to reach for a push stick because he's like, I really should be using a push stick. And he didn't even realize it, but his finger did touch the blade and it did stop. And they took a picture of like his finger. It didn't even bleed because he had such thick calluses on the tip of his thumb. But he's like, yeah, I would have lost my finger for sure if it hadn't been for that. Yeah. So even like, it's not even, and I always tell a lot of my readers, it's usually not the new DIY or someone who's new to using power tools that's going to have an accident. It's someone who's been using them for a long time and they get complacent and they don't respect the tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Leah, we don't want to keep you too much longer. I'm sure you're hungry for dinner, probably. You too, Sarah.
It's been a real pleasure. It's been a real pleasure to meet both of you.
Oh, me
Yeah.
too.
Enjoyed it.
Leah,
I can't wait to keep on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, Leah, is there anything you want to plug, or is anything coming up? What's in store for CJ and Drill?
Oh, you know what? It's coming up next or this week. We did a 4-hour bathroom remodel, and I think that video comes out on Thursday.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome!
I'm excited about that because you know what? It's that time of year. People are trying to get their homes together for the holidays, and we figured we'd do something kind of different. Do a 4-hour bathroom remodel, and worked out really well.
Wow! Oh, I can't wait to see that. I definitely need some ideas for our bathroom. Cool.
Yeah, that would
Wait.
That's it.
Well, hey, everybody, you should follow Leah. She's, I think your handle's pretty much CJ and Drill on every channel, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Thanks again.
Thanks for coming. We really enjoyed meeting you. Let's definitely keep in
absolutely.
touch.
All right, bye. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Brittany.
Bye, Leah. So good to
Bye.
meet you. And then, Brittany, I think we need to do a shout out to Duluth.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Duluth sponsors our chat, and they have been super awesome. They have really amazing clothes. I wear all the time on the job site. They're just functional.
They're
functional
tough.
clothing.
They're tough like us. Yeah, I'm excited because it's getting cool here, and so I've broken out my flannels, which honestly, if you don't have a Duluth flannel shirt, they have the oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget the name, the cross cut. When you go like this, it has some gussets in the back that has some stretch material, so it never kind of binds, especially when you're working. And I'm telling you, this flannel is so soft, it's like wearing your pajamas. I love wearing them, and I love when it gets cool because I just put them on and I feel like I'm wearing my pajamas all day.
Yeah, no, it's super rad. I can't wait. Yeah, I'm really excited to pull out the flannels. It's been chilly here in San Diego. I've had to close my windows at night.
Really? Oh, that is cold. What is that temperature for you?
Like 60?
Shut up.
Maybe 50?
I'm like, we still have our windows open at night, not all the way, but cracked, and it's 45 outside. Just because I don't know, like during the day it gets warm in the house, and I like when it's cooler in the bedroom and get out the feather blankets and just, be like pressed down.
Yeah, no kidding. No,
I have a question for you, Sarah.
Yes.
And I think I know the answer to this, but so in our neighborhood, we are on a well system, and so our water, it's a community well, and we've had some issues, or not one of the complaints, but one when I called the company that handles the water. We have a lot of air in the line, and the woman said, well, that's because this time of year everyone's watering their lawns. And it made me really think, like, I noticed people are really watering their lawns like every day. I mean, they are just saturating these. And isn't that that's counter to what you should be doing? Do you know anything about lawns?
Right. So yes and no. I actually don't install as many lawns as you may think, but in Southern California, it's really kind of not as popular.
That's true.
I mean, people do it, but on the East Coast, it's way more popular and it's a little more sustainable. Typically, it depends on what type, whether you have a warm season or cold season sod, but typically, you kind of want it to start going dormant into the winter. So if you're fertilizing it, which is not what you said, but watering it a lot, you're encouraging it to grow. you really want to focus on root growth, ideally, so you have a nice strong start for next year. So I don't know if I think my thought would be like watering it that much would not be all that beneficial.
Yeah,
But
I think that's, I mean, that's what we have, mostly fescue around here. So this is when people are seeding. Like, this is definitely the time of year for us to seed. But everything that I had learned, or I thought I read, was that you don't want to water every day. You want to do a really deep watering and then let it rest for a couple days, because you want the grass to grow longer roots to reach down for the water. Whereas if you keep watering it, like, A, they're going to have shallow roots, and B, there's a lot of funguses that, especially if you're watering it, you know, in the evening, and it's going to stay wet all night.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's good to have it dry out. You don't want it always 100% saturated, because the plants need water and air. It needs air just as much as it needs water. So if it's always saturated, it's not balanced. So yeah, that's where you get the fungi and bacteria issues.
Ah, interesting. I didn't think about that, but that would make sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I need to do a little more research, because I feel like the neighbors are just going a little bit crazy with the water, and now it's affecting our drinking water and the water that we use. You know, we get air in our lines, and then we get I think she was saying some magnesium and stuff comes off of the pipes because the air is forcing. I don't know.
Oh, so it's corroding. Interesting. You know, I'd be really curious if you found out more about that.
I need to, because I'm getting a little bit frustrated. It's like we're in a community that's 30 years old. These wells are really old, and I'm wondering, like, are they starting to break down? You know, like, how much truth is.
I'd be real curious, because you don't know what you're getting it from those pipes.
Yeah, they swear it's safe, but we actually order the big 5-gallon jugs and have a water cooler, because I don't really want the kids drinking. You know, I want to know what they're drinking, essentially.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I'd be super curious about that.
Yeah.
Water or air. Interesting. Who knew?
Who knew?
Right?
Yeah. Well, I had fun. Did you have fun? I love meeting Leah.
I gotta be honest. It was a long day, and I hope I was participating enough, because I'm like, but I really enjoyed talking to Leah. Like, she's badass. She's pretty cool.
She totally is.
I would like to interact with her a little bit more.
Me too. I definitely want to keep in touch, see what she's up to. So I'm going to totally say her name wrong, but our next guest, I believe we've confirmed, is Carmen Del Paz. Is that right? Did I say it right?
Yeah.
De La Paz. Yeah. And
I believe, I'm going on memory, but I think it's De La Paz. Yeah, I'm excited to meet her too.
She should be fun. She looks like she's has a lot of energy in a small package.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, it sounds like my mom.
Yeah.
My mom's like 4'11", and she's just.
Oh, hang on. I think I heard the dog. Bandit. Oh, you can see if Bandit will come in.
Oh, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. I'd like to see the new one. Hi, Bandit. Oh,
come here. Oh, he's like, come here. See if I can get him up. He's like, now he's underneath me, so you can't really see. Bandit.
So, I see a happy dog.
Hey.
That's awesome. Well, he's gonna be your new DIY buddy, it sounds like.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of training. He's definitely he's a tail wagger, but he's also got the attention span of a gnat.
Oh man.
Yeah, he's definitely the, if you ever saw that movie Up.
He'll grow into it.
I hope so, but yeah, no, he's really young now too. It's, he's just like a toddler.
Yeah.
He's definitely like the dog in Up. Squirrel? What?
Totally. Man.
Well, Sara, I should let you go and hopefully get on your way home.
I think they're gonna get out of space pretty soon. So.
All right.
I'm still at the property, so they're like, it's dark. You gotta go.
Go.
It's time for bed.
Yeah, don't fall asleep on the road. Make it home safely.
I won't. I'm excited to make it home and really knock out some lumber orders and then get back here early tomorrow.
Cool. Well, as always, it's nice to see you and nice to catch up.
Too.
Until next month.
I know, right? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I know. Well, first Monday of every month at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you
Yep.
here, hopefully.
DIY courage.
All right. Bye, Sarah.
Bye, Brittany. Good to see ya.